Hello friends and family, you're welcome back to Netcode-Hub channel. This video we are going to talk about how to create Google Map API key. Now when you want to use map in Maui, there are two ways. The first one is you can decide to open the map, that's a map application on the phone or on the desktop computer. But if you want to embed or include map in your application, how can you do it? You have to first get a Google API key, and that is a map API key. Now, creating of this API key is sometimes weird because a lot of things have to be considered before you can create it. So this short video, we are going to quickly go through how to get a key. And later on, maybe we'll talk about how to integrate this API key into Maui applications. So let's first get going. The first thing that you have to do here is we open our browser and we go to console.cloud.google.com. I'm going to leave this link under the description so you can go there and get the link. So it is just go to console.cloud.google.com. So that is the link that you have to pass into your. Now in here, you have to log in. So I have this login. I have this email. So I'm going to log in here. Then I have the password too. So I'll also log in to Google account. So you first have to be authenticated before you can actually move on with it. Okay. Now, whilst you're in here, what is the first thing to do? So the next thing to do here is to create a project. Now I know I have created a project already, and that you can see over here. But for this video, I'm going to create a new project. So click on this, and now click on new project. And now let's give it project name. So this is, let's say this is Netcode-Hub map. So there's Netcode-Hub map. Now this Netcode-Hub map, the organization is, maybe you can browse or you can leave it as it is. So let's see, we have it over here, and let's go for create. You can add maybe 01 to it. Okay, or you can still maintain the way as it is. So let's click on create. Now we have our project created. So click on this. As you can see from here, create project Netcode-Hub map. So let's see the response. Click on this. And now after successfully created, you have to see the project over here, and that is the project here. So click on this project. Select the project that we just created. So after selecting, what is the next thing that we have to do? Let's click on this menu, navigation menu, and I'll go to API and services, and I'll go for library. So I'll click on this library. Now this library comprises of a whole list of API keys over here, or APIs. Talking about API for Android SDK, for iOS SDK, for JavaScript API, places, routes, directions, a lot. So here we have to select the particular or the specific APIs that we want. Here we can select more than one API. You can select 2, 3, 4, a number of API that you want to include. For example, maybe if you want a direction or navigation API, you want geological or the API. If you want places API, you can select all this API and now generate the key. So whilst you are here, you can see we have 21 APIs. So click on this view all 21 APIs. So this is a street view publish API. We have geolocation API. We have places. We have maps SDK for Android. So let's assume we want to use an Android. So we want to get an SDK, or we want to get the API for Android. So how are you going to do this? You can see we have also, let's go in for places, and now this geolocation API, and also this Android. So what you're going to do here is let's enable them. So right click on this and open it in a new tab. Now right click on this SDK for the Android, and now open this also in a new tab. And now let's add one as maybe the place. So right click and also open the new tab. Now when I come here, let's enable it and go to this side, also enable this, and now this also enable that, enable this. Okay, so all enabled as you can see from here. And this map SDK for Android. If you want to get one for that is for iOS, it is also there. You have to go in there and now choose for iOS, then you have to get the key for that. Okay, so now these are enabled. Let's see, enable this. Okay, so now these keys are enabled. What can we do? So it's saying that we should verify account to make sure we are not a robot. So we can go for verification, and let's see. Okay, so we are verifying our account. So I'm in Ghana here, and I can now go for this. So under verification, you have to pass in your account type, the name of an address. So you have to fill out this, and here you have to provide your card number because it is asking us for payment, but it is start free trial. So this could be a trial version for this. Okay, so here what you can do is you can pass in your credit card information here, but you can still click on the free trial. Here there's not going to be any deduction. Okay, so let's assume that we are done. We have enabled all this, and the next thing that we can do is still asking us for verification. The next thing we can do here is you go to this, then click on the API and services, then go to credentials. So with this credentials, you then have to create a credential. So as you can see, currently we have no API keys to display. So we have to create credential, and that's going to be for API keys. So with the API keys, we wait for creating an API key. So let's wait for it. So as you can see, now we have API key created, and that is an API key. So we can actually copy this and we can go ahead and integrate it. So let's see. So we can click on this API key. Now you can see we can click on show key. Now show key is going to display, it's going to pop up the key that we have. So that is the key that we have for our APIs that we have gotten now. Now, if you know that this API, it can access or give access to a lot of domains. So how do you restrict this API? Let's assume you want to create an API for your web application. And your web application, you want a specific domain to make a request to that API. So in such case, what can you do? You have to restrict this. To restrict that, click on the API key, and now in here, when it loads up, this is a name. So maybe if this, let's say this is the Netcode-Hub, and this mobile app. This mobile app API. So we can give it a name, any name at all that you want. You pass it over here. Now, when I come here, it is saying that the key is unrestricted. So to prevent unauthorized use, we recommend restricting where and for which API can be used. So which are you going to opt for? Is it a website? Is it an IP address, or is it an Android apps? So let's say it's an Android app. You select an Android apps. Then in here, what can you do? You have to add. So you have to add this over here. So you can click on this, and that is a package name. And you have a certificate fingerprint. So you have to pass that here. If it is also a website, then you click on the add, and I have to add a website domain. Okay, so maybe netcode-hub.me.com, etc. So you pass it right here. Then we click on restrict and now save this. So when you save this, it's going to say that only that domain request is going to be resolved. Now, any request that comes in from any domain is going to be scrapped off. So that is it to restrict your API. Okay, but for now, we're not going to restrict. We're going to maintain as it is now. So we have an API here. So we can grab an API and we can use that. So when you're done, you can also delete this. So this, you can delete this API, and this also going to be deleted. As you can see, so delete credential. So once it's deleted, it can no longer be used to make an API request. For 30 days after deletion, you can restore your credentials from the deleted credential page. So I can just delete this. Okay, so that is so you can create your credentials to get your API, or you can also delete it as well when you think they are not in use. You can delete from the page. Okay, so that is it for this video. I believe you've seen how to create an API key for Google Maps. So our next video, we're going to talk about how do you integrate this key into a map. How do you integrate this into Maui app, whereby you're going to use map in our application. We're going to talk about that maybe in a later video, but for now, let's keep it over here. And let's see if next time we can talk about that too. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what I'm doing, you can just give me a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel, share. And if you have any issue too, you can just put it at the comment section and we'll see to it. Thank you. Take care of yourself, and I'm going to catch you up in the next video.